so I just wanted to give a quick update on what has been going on. I've been terrible at filming. I don't know if you guys want to see every process that I do, but the 240 is up and running. I put the trans in twice now because I've had issues with it. First, it wouldn't go into any gear, and then I pulled the trans out, got it fixed, and put it back together, put the new slave in it, bled it, and then it would go through gears up until 4th gear. That's 4. And then it wouldn't go into 4th gear. But after that had happened, the throttle bearing on it essentially seized. It makes the most god-awful noise when you press the clutch in. It does run. Alright. It runs a little rough. I don't know. I need to hit it with the timing light and see where the timing's at. Also, on top of that, the EGI, yeah, it is missing on this guy. It was a bad relay, which was initially in the fuel pump gun, so it would start, run for about 30 seconds. Actually, it wouldn't even be that long. Probably like 5-10 seconds until the pump kicked off from priming, and then it would die, which took me a minute to figure out, but finally got it figured out. On top of all this, I put electronic fans in. My camera, or my flashlight. So I got these electronic fans in just at the junkyard. This one does not work. True fashion of what I've been dealing with. This one works fine, so I'll wire that one up. I'm going to try it with just one for now. That other one kind of helps hold it in place, so I won't pull it out. The dash was not working, the tack on it. So I pulled it apart and got that fixed. I have tinted the windows. All this eBay tint, let me tell you. I've seen a lot of reviews based off of this tint, and people don't have good luck with it, but it turned out great. I've tinted a few times. I'm not a professional, but I don't know if you can even see well enough, but there are no creases, bubbles. Turned out pretty good. This back window was kind of a pain, actually. I had to redo it because I put it on and it laid down nicely, and so I was like, oh sweet, this will be quick and easy. I just turned and threw it up in there, and it was not. It needed to be shrinked. I'm sure it's because there's so much area. There's a little curve to it, but it's pretty flat. That's the reason behind it. But it turned out pretty good this time. There's a bunch of scratches all over the window, so it looks like that's part of the issues. But just quick update on it. I was going to try and go racing today, actually. There's a race going on up in Wyoming, just to test and tune, but when I went to start the Camaro the other day, I let it idle for a minute, and I was going to try and figure out why. It's kind of felt weird when you half throttle, it's fine. Anything over that, it kind of doesn't feel like it's all there. Well, letting it idle, getting up to temp, I went up and grabbed my laptop, came down. By the time I'd gotten back down and into the car, it had a check engine light, and so I pulled the codes on it, and the codes was O2 sensor bank 1, and the throttle position sensor, it's gone now, so I got to replace that. So that would explain why last time I took it to the track, it was great up until you got over half throttle. So when I came up stage, put it on the converter, it came up great, and then you'd let off and it almost nose over, but it I've just been super busy, so I've been trying to knock things out. I do have some goodies for this car coming. It is still on the factory cam and spring, so with that pack 1218s and a cam, which this could be. This is like the white girl builds of the LS. It's the sloppy stage 2 and pack 1218s. So that I can start moving forward with this car. I need to start doing something with it. But I just wanted to give you a quick update on all this business. Somewhere in this area. But here's the old but new throttle bearing I'll be putting in. It seems to spin freely. So I gotta pull the trans back out. I'll probably end up filming that. I'll time lapse it. I don't know. Alright, so I just almost forgot. With it grinding in 4th gear, I'm almost half tempted to just put the old trans back in. This guy right here. The owner before me had said that this would grind 1st to 2nd, 2nd to 3rd. But I might be dealing with, I'd rather deal with grinding issues than not being able to actually get into 4th at all. Even though it shifts really well from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th in reverse. Some huge chunks of metal fell out when I pulled the vehicle speed sensor out. Big chunks. I think I still have a picture. If so, I'll put it in just so you can see. And that only tells a little bit of the story. There were some bigger chunks that fell out that I actually get a picture of. So, this car's been kind of a nightmare. It's funny because the old owner was telling me, he's like, oh, the car's cursed. I'm like, whatever. I'm starting to sort of believe that, to an extent. I think it's just been neglected for so long. I pulled the worst fuel out. It was brown. I have a picture of in the tank, and plus I got to discard this, but I pulled about, you see that? About 4 gallons. It's about 4.5 gallons in of fuel like that out when I replaced the fuel pump, because the fuel pump was bad. And the main harness wire from the battery, apparently it goes down and connects underneath here. Well, when the shop did the swap, they put a connector in with just a bolt and they smashed down. Apparently they didn't get it tight enough, and whoever pulled the battery out last time ripped it out of it, so I would get power to everything else and it would kick the starter. So you click, click, nothing else. It took me like a day or 2 to figure that crap out. Once I did, it starts and runs great. Loose on the great term, but I think that's good.